Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. When the government began abducting Gen Zs and youths who are creating pictures, videos, and caricatures of politicians, including the president of Kenya, William Samoei Ruto, in a coffin, there was a big debate around this behavior. People were divided. There are those who are saying that the government must use the very orthodox and constitutional means to arrest offenders of the law. And they're saying that no amount of breaking the law warrants abductions. And they're saying that the government or the police, which is charged with the mandate of maintaining law and order, should follow that very law when they are arresting offenders or lawbreakers and not abducting them. Then another school of thought is saying that maybe we should look at the root cause of the problem, and they are trying to apportion blame to the parents. Parents who they say do not teach their children manners and virtues, and therefore they grow up with mannerisms that sometimes would be tantamount to treason or imprisonment. And William Ruto himself told Kenyans that they will stop abductions, but parents must also be responsible enough to teach their children manners. And this has really attracted a big debate around it. Now, they say that when you are living in a glass house, please don't attempt to throw stones. Now, there are people who have come up and they are telling William Ruto that maybe we should start with you. And they are asking two questions. Did your parents teach you any manners? And you yourself, are you instilling manners and virtues into your children? Because they are saying that, number one, William Ruto is fond of lies. And even at the very, very preparatory level, even at home before children attend school, they are told, don't lie. They go to church, they are told, don't lie. But they say William Ruto is associated with lies. And I want you to listen to this Kenyan telling William Ruto that yes, it's okay. Parents should and must talk to their children, but where do we begin and where does it end? Are we going to look at the parents whose children are creating caricatures only? Or we need to expand this debate to encompass and include politicians who are misbehaving and whose children and relatives and friends are also misbehaving. Kindly listen to this, Kenyan.
He's telling people that to tell their children to have good manners. I think that's fair. That's a good comment. Parents should tell their children to be disciplined, starting with parents of their children who own Matatus. To tell their children that you own Matatus and you're driving your Matatus badly and you're causing chaos and you're causing havoc in this country. Those parents whose children own very new Matatus and we know who they are, should start by telling their children to behave. Now, those parents, because they are alive, whose children are lying to Kenyans every place, left, right, and center, including a lie that was told just the other day. Hii barabara ya hapa Kayole Soweto, mukienda Christmas mukirudi, mutapata tumeweka lami. I don't know whether they meant Christmas of 2028 because Christmas watu walienda na wakarudi. Hiyo barabara ya Kayole bado haijawekwa lami, hata hakuna pikipiki ya serikali that has visited that place. So as we speak about parents telling their children to speak the truth, let us speak to all parents, all of them, starting with the parents of those politicians who are lying to Kenyans and those who are having their children driving Matatus carelessly.
Now, if you listen to that Kenyan very carefully, he's blaming William Ruto. And he's saying that maybe before you blame other parents, we should blame you or blame yourself because you didn't instill manners in your child, because it is said that Ruto's son owns a fleet of Matatus that are misbehaving on the roads, and this is a story that has been captured before. And he's telling William Ruto, can you show direction first and let your children really showcase mannerism that is tantamount to someone or people who have been taught discipline. And he's also saying that maybe because we know that William Ruto, I think William Ruto, his father has arrested because during the declaration of the presidential results at Bomas, it is the mother who comes. I believe Ruto has got one parent, the mother. So this Kenyan is saying maybe your mom never taught you mannerism because you are fond of lies. If you ask any Kenyan, they feel that William Ruto is fond of lies. And if you think that I'm exaggerating, I want you to listen to the school. I don't know whether these are students or pupils. I looked at them and I thought maybe they are junior school or something, that are summarizing the behavior of Ruto, his lies. To Metenga, we said this would plan. And this has gotten into the classrooms. They are now mimicking William Ruto's lies. And to me, this is very pathetic. Can you listen to the students? I want to believe that they're students.
Tutaweka bilioni 50 kwa kina mama mboga na bodaboda hawa. Tutawatoa kwa CRB na Fuliza. Kila mwananchi atatunukiwa deni la Hustler Fund bila interest. Ama namna gani? Wangapi wanakubaliana nami? Kwa ishara ya mikono. Kumbe nyinyi ni wa Bwana namna hiyo.
Soma swali la kwanza.
Tambua aina ya sajili na uthibitishe.
Aya, swali la pili.
Fafanua sifa 8 za sajili hii.
What is your thought, ladies and gentlemen? And what do you think was in the mind of, because I believe this must have been a teacher who created, I don't know whether this is a narrative, a poem, ni shairi ama nini, I don't know how it's called, but these children or these pupils are capturing William Ruto's lies. Tulisema tutafanya hivi, tulisema tutafanya hii, tulisema. And what was going on in the mind of that teacher? I believe maybe this was a narration that was given by a teacher. What about the children, the pupils who are reading this? Do you think they don't know what is happening? Social media is everywhere. The mode of conveying information through television and magazeti, they know whom they are talking about. And I want you to imagine, William Ruto is the father of the nation. He's an influencer, sort of. Whether the influence is negative or positive, he is an opinion shaper. So his lies has gotten into classrooms, and they are now using it as a script. Ladies and gentlemen, that's why I'm telling you that before you throw stones, please understand the kind of house that you're living in. If you're living in a stone house, please don't attempt. So it's clear that before we start blaming other parents, let us also understand that we are also parents. That's why they say that when you want to change the world, start by yourself. Don't start by changing others. You might not have control on what others are doing, how they think, what they feel about you, but you can do the least by just changing yourself. Just recently, Farah Maalim insulted Kenyans, kumanina zenu, a very not very palatable language. We are waiting to see when William Ruto will condemn such insults. So Farah Maalim, we believe, is a parent. Farah Maalim is a public figure. So when he goes out and he is insulting people, why? Because he is defending William Ruto. I mean, these are people who are insulting, they're your allies, they're your dogs, and you don't condemn, yet you tell other parents that they should instill mannerism in their children. Does it make sense? What do you make out of the iyo shairi, I don't know whether it is shairi, or the sentiments of that Kenyan who is saying, yes, let us look at this holistically. Let us include the politicians too. They are parents. They speak in public. The statements are written in newspapers and we listen on TV and radio. Who should we start with? Ladies and gentlemen, it is very right that children must be taught discipline. But if there is a class that has been, a very shameful class is the political class. A disgrace to our society, a disgrace to our nation. If it is corruption, we can directly identify and associate corruption with our politicians. Go and see our roads, go and see our hospitals. If it is lies, it starts from above. Nitatenga, nitafanya hii, nitafanya vile. Insults, we can directly associate insults to our children. Let me tell you something and you will agree with me. Do you know there is a child who has never heard the term kumanina before? But maybe for the first time, as she only was watching news, she watched a person of high caliber, a person who has been a deputy speaker of the National Assembly, a person who was once very close to power. Why? According to the Constitution, if the president or the deputy president is not there, it is the Speaker of the National Assembly that takes over. I can easily assume that in the absence of the Speaker, on a temporary basis, a deputy speaker takes over. So Farah Maalim was that close to power. Yet, for the first time, maybe there is a child that looked at Farah Maalim, listening to him, defending William Ruto, insulting us. Then William Ruto does not condemn this, but he comes back and tells other parents that maybe it is time to instill discipline on our children. And it is not bad to remind other children, other parents to try and sit down with their children that you need to know the limits of your freedom, the limit to your constitutional rights, because as we enjoy our rights should not interfere with the rights and freedom of others. But on the same breath, I think it is very paramount and very important to also remind the political class that they are indeed a disgrace to us, and we need to call them out. I don't think you can only pass a message by insulting our children. It is a disgrace, and it is tantamount to looking down on our children and looking down on the women in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you think, but William Ruto, parliamentarians, cabinet secretaries, and all the people who want to remind other Kenyans about discipline, about decorum, about obedience to the law, must also understand that you cannot preach wine and drink water, or you preach water and you drink wine. That's my take.